I want to welcome Tammie to our group. I'm so excited to introduce her and share her with everyone here. Tammie has a business called KDP for business to business, and it's such an exciting model for your low content book business. I'm so excited for her to share it with you. So Tammie, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit and tell your background and how you got started creating books for KDP.
All right. Well, thank you, Cindy, for having me. And I'm glad to be in your group sharing this kind of twist on KDP is what I like to call it. Yeah, it is Kindle Direct Publishing for business to business. So I started in KDP, it's been about 3 years ago. And like everyone I've talked to recently, we all were excited. We got our, did the KDP, got our journals up on Amazon. When I first, the low content, get them up there. Well, I wasn't great at keywords. I wasn't, I was like kind of new at this. I'm not a graphic designer, so I didn't have that going for me. I didn't have the keywords going for me, and I wasn't doing ads. So I put my books up there, super excited, did it, got like 10 books up and nothing sold. Which it seems like the common theme I've heard.
Very familiar.
Yeah, I think I've heard your theme about this. So I was in the same spot as most people where I just didn't have that correct niche, and I didn't have the skills to create these beautiful booklets that people were covers and things that people were doing. So I kind of stepped back, and I only sold one book, and it was to my sister. I found out one journal, so I was thankful for that, but it wasn't paying the mortgage. So I said, well, I really like the KDP model. Like, I love the business model. I've been an Amazon seller for about 8 years. And so I was selling products and doing all that, but I really like more of the KDP side. It just was creative, fun, and it was just another outlet for me. So I sat back and thought, how do I use KDP? How do I use this? And what do I know from my background? I've been an entrepreneur for pretty much all my life since I was 22. And so over 30 years of doing that. So I just said, and I was going, and it's a funny thing, I know we've talked about gym stuff before, Cindy, you and I, but I was going to a gym and I was doing all this nutrition and kind of working on my health for the last few years. And I thought, I wonder if they have, because they had me with notebooks all the time, and go get a notebook, tracking everything. And the tracker kind of was what kind of gave me the clue. It's like, this KDP booklet would be great, because they're sending me to Amazon anyway, or Barnes and Nobles to buy something, or wherever store, which is not branded. So then I started thinking, well, if I could create booklets for this gym, then I could create a branded booklet for a gym. I could use my KDP skills. And that's kind of how that all started kind of coming together. So I asked the gym owner about it, and then that's how I kind of got started with that. So I won't go too deep in it, because I know you have more questions for me, but that's kind of how this KDP for B2B got started, was because I was not successful in KDP selling, which is hilarious. But I think a lot of entrepreneurs, you learn how to pivot. I have skills in business. I've been a business owner for many years. I knew this model was a great model, but how did I fit my background, and how did it work for me? And then I started sharing it with everybody else. So we can talk more, but that's in a nutshell how KDP for B2B got started.
That's awesome. How long ago did you create this business?
This has been going for about 3 years. Well, I guess it was about 2.5. It was pretty soon after my when I started, uploading the books and stuff and not selling them. I was kind of bummed, I was kind of bummed I wasn't, and it was so fun to create the books, the low content books. I was enjoying that. So it was probably about 6 months later that I really kind of thought, I'm going to check out when I was going to the gym. So I was watching, and everybody, everyone thinks it's all digital, but I was looking around and everybody was filling out a notebook, writing stuff down, because when you work out, you're tracking everything, or you're tracking your nutrition or your weights or whatever you're doing in the gym. So that's when I just, you have a lot of time in the gym just to sit there and and so it's like on the treadmill, la, 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 la. And I'm looking around and thinking, we could create a book for these guys and have it branded with the business. And that's what I did. So it's been about,
that's
I would
awesome.
say 2.5 years ago is when the idea, and then we just started, then people started asking me how I was doing it. So then we created, more to it.
The
And
business just
yeah,
kind of came out
to
of
get,
that. Yeah. What
yeah.
other types of businesses have you created books for
So,
besides the fitness?
So the was a gym tracker that I did, and it was a franchise, which is kind of fascinating too. So that was an interesting twist to this as well, is it was a franchise, and they were just having the owners just run off a copy of a checklist. So then when I said, would you like something like this? They're like, yes. And so that opened up some other doors. So then I got into a lady who was doing an online course for a mind body revolution. So I was in that same kind of field, but it was an online course where she's helping people. And when I signed up for it, she handed me this 3-ring binder with all of her information about her course in it. And then I talked to her and I said, wouldn't you like your kind of like elevate your business? Because she's just a powerful businesswoman, beautiful and powerful and smart. And so we created a branded book for her business by just taking her content and adding it to a KDP booklet. So that was around my second one or so. That it was like, oh, this is good. This is, so I went from a low content maybe to more of a medium content and taking stuff that they already have created for their business. So the other businesses were, is real estate is a really great model because realtors love to be branded. They like to stand out from their, businesses, other competition should say, but it also turns into more of like a gift. So you're getting your home ready to sell. So this could be the lead magnet for the realtor. So you're branding these booklets with their brand of their real estate company. And you're also there's a checklist. So it's back to that lower content KDP booklet. And this is where a doodle comes in very handy, I have to say. Thank you for creating that, Cindy. I love
welcome.
it. I love a doodle. I cannot stop talking about it. But just like these type of booklets, so you're creating these covers that are branded, but you're using something like a doodoo to create the interior templates for this business. So realtors are great. So getting your home ready to sell would be sort of like a lead magnet. It gives value because they can have a checkoff list of how to get their home, do a garage sale, all those things that you have to do to prepare for the sale of your home. Mm-hmm. And they would do that. Then the other one is a home maintenance checklist. So the home buyer, buys a home from the realtor. They always usually do a gift. This could be a part of the gift, the same idea. Now it's just a checklist for smoke detectors, checking your filters. So now that homeowner has that branded book in their hand, say every quarter to check smoke alarms, and also say they're going to sell their house 5 years down the road. Who's that realtor? I can't remember. Well, business cards disappear. Folders get maybe tossed away, but a branded booklet most likely will not get tossed away. Plus it gives value because they're using it every time they're doing maintenance, maybe to the furnace filters need to be changed. So then 5 years they're going to sell the house. They go, hey, what was that realtor? Cindy, but that's actually who the realtor is, Cindy. But what was her company, or what was her ad, her email, and it's all right there. So it really does give these businesses a leg up. The business, I know Cindy and I have talked about businesses. We could go on. There could be travel agents. It could be, and it's not only just a travel agent. Then it can expand to cruise lines, to, we said walking tours. I remember we talked about that.
Walking tours, breweries, wineries, little tasting books. I mean,
whiskey bars. I mean, there's so many pieces that could go, and it could be multiple books for different businesses too. It doesn't just have, like the realtors, we're talking 2 booklets already for them, and that could go on and
anyone
on.
that has any course or teaches anybody anything needs this.
Courses are great, especially with the pandemic. It kind of shifted a little bit where we started looking on online businesses, and they were just exploding, and the coaches and the programs, and they all have these PDFs that they're sending people already. But creating that branded book, they go, well, why wouldn't they just download the PDF? Well, the PDF is great, but when you can have a booklet that they're going to put on their desk and keep and write in. And the PDF or the papers, kind of get disheveled, or maybe they're mixed up. When you
Right.
can send out with the KDP service with Amazon, you can send that book out in get it around 2 days and anywhere in the world. That opens up a bigger door. So now your branding is sitting on someone's desk instead of a PDF that they had to print off. And I know myself, it doesn't feel the same. And the business owner can send them out right from their computer. They don't even have to touch a book. So that's another bonus for sure.
That's a huge advantage. And it makes the business owner that's doing the course look more professional. I think that lends
Yes.
credibility to you as a course provider.
Creator. Yeah. I definitely agree with you. It like this with this lady Tara, it just elevated her. She already had such a great course, a great program, everything. She just didn't know it was available to her. And that's where this business model really supports that and helps people realize that as a business owner, they can definitely do that.
What advice do you have for people looking to get into this type of business?
Well, excuse me, excuse me. You don't have to have, I always like to tell people, there's a few things. Well, do I have to be a graphic designer? No, you do not. Especially, it's just the basic booklets that if you created KDP already, you definitely can just know how to add these things. And with, like I said, with the do, it makes things 10 times easier. And a little bit of Canva work, you're good to go. So you don't need to be a graphic designer. That's for one thing. Do you, ask, I have to go out and speak to the businesses? That is something that you will have to do. And now with the online Zoom and all the different video calls we can do, it's become easier that way because a lot of the owners know that they can just have a meeting online and it works fine. But the other thing, if you're not, like, say I'm an introvert and I just want to create the books, you can partner up with someone that is more of an extrovert and likes to do that part. And maybe you find someone that you can sort of work with, that they'll go out or they'll go online and generate the traffic for that, of those businesses. So that's probably the two things that I get asked the most is where they get like, I don't know if I could do this or not. But really, it's low skills on the graphic design. You can keep it simple. If you need to hire someone to do that, there's always people out there that can help you. But basically, yeah, that's it. So if you're limited in something, I just say partner up with someone, make it easy for yourself.
And most of the time, the business owner is going to give you their graphics, their logos, and whatever to use too. So
exactly,
there's not a lot of graphic design, I think, that goes into.
No, it really isn't. And like they said, I get their logo, I get their picture, I get their contact information. It's just, I mean, it's pretty basic stuff. And then if they needed logos, you maybe have people that could create them, and you don't have to do all that part for them at all.
Right. That's awesome. What do you think are the greatest benefits of using this KDP business model?
Well, what I found was, so I'll start kind of with, it's your KDP account. You go out to a business and you connect up with them, and they, yes, I want the books. And you go through that process. Well, then when you're going to upload it, it's going to be on your KDP account. So this is a little bit of the difference. So you're becoming the holder of that, and then you get a royalty. So I add a royalty to that booklet, and I also will get a setup fee. So I charge a setup fee in the very beginning. What I like to do is charge a setup fee, half of it up front and then half of it when the book is completed. And then I add a royalty fee of, I like to use the $5 rule just for myself, but this is your business. This is all about you, what you want your business to do. And then every time that book is sold, you make a royalty. So it becomes a reoccurring income stream, which is so rare to find a business that you can do that with. But then the business is driving the traffic to the books. So you don't have to create ads or keywords or any of that, because the business has the audience. They just want the books available. People ask me that question all the time. Well, why doesn't the business owner just do this? Well, yes, they can, but they don't have the time. They don't have the time to do it. They're so busy running their business You know what
Exactly.
I
They're
mean?
busy running their own business, so they need to delegate, which is something we need to remember too. If you start getting overwhelmed, you can always go out and hire other people to help you do the cover or whatever, or to go talk to the business owners and
Right. You can think of
uh,
it, this is a business model. It is, it is a way to you might hire people to do these pieces for you. You don't have to be the only one. Now you can do it all yourself. I do it all myself. I did it all myself for probably a year and a half. And now I have someone that that helps me create the books and do all that as well now. So just because it got busy and I'm running another business, couple other businesses along with what I'm doing. So yes, it's something that can create a reoccurring income stream. And they just want the books, and that question gets asked a lot. Is there going to be people that say I'll just do it myself? Yes, they will, but that's not really the case. If you think about business owners, they are very busy. They just want it done. They just want to be able to get to them. And then the best thing with Amazon is the shipping, because people say, well, why don't we use a different printing company? And you absolutely can. But the beauty of the Amazon's KDP is they ship it, and you don't have to touch it. Like, you don't have to get the books to your office, have a stack of them, put them in an envelope, go to the post office, do all this stuff. That takes time, and they're busy. They don't have time. That's a lot of energy. Or even if they hire someone, they got to pay them to do it. So when you're thinking, put your business cap on and think about making it easy for them. And that's what this business model will do. You're just taking that off their plate. They get to do some marketing, and they don't have to worry about it. So yeah.
yeah, that's great because I know I think a lot of business owners would jump at the chance to get these books for their
Mm-hmm.
businesses. I've talked to you about how I'm working with my gym owner to
Yeah.
create a couple different types of books for her, and she's super excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you belong to a gym, go talk to your gym owners. You got friends that are real estate agent, go talk to them.
Yeah.
Got, somebody that owns a brewery, go talk to them. Start off talking to people that are already
Mm-hmm.
small business owners and say, hey, how can I help your business grow with a book like this? I think
Right.
they'll be receptive to it.
Yeah, and the other thing too is, especially when you're new, getting your foot in the door. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, this is that first few that I get. I'm kind of nervous to get out there." But if you just have a business that maybe you frequent, that you go to, or people online that you already are in groups, and just say, "I started this business. What do you guys think? And would this be a good service for your business?" And they'll usually respond really well to it. Or you can ask them questions. Tell me about your business, so that you can get some knowledge about
Mm-hmm.
what they do, if you're not completely sure how it all works. But it can expand into so many different platforms in different ways. And then the other one, something like, say, take a wedding event area. So you're going to have a wedding event. Well, then how many people do the wedding event planners know? Or the
Yeah.
site plan. So here you have this wedding site to have. Well, they're hosted. Well, they know the caterers. They got multiple people that do the cakes, the photography, the videos, well, that becomes another layer where you can start creating these cross promotion booklets, or you can start creating different ways to connect with more people. So the first few are probably your hardest, just because you're nervous. But you have to remember, they don't even know how this even works. They don't have this is really so new, which a lot of people are in KDP. We were around it. We talk about it. They don't even know what the word KDP is. So you have to, bring your books with you, even if they're not the right books for that particular business. They just want to know the real books and hold them and touch them
Mm-hmm.
and show them. That's another way you can go in and talk with a business, is just show them, what do you think of these books? And they'll be like, well, where'd you get them? And you say, then you can opens up a door for conversation.
Yeah, I know it was helpful with my gym owner because I brought in a couple different books with different sizes, glossy, not glossy, so that she
Mm-hmm.
could actually hold it in her hand and go, yeah, this is the size I want. This is a good size. I could stick it in their gym bag. It's perfect. Yeah, that one's
Yes.
too big. So I think it really helps them to be able to visualize what they're going to get,
Mm-hmm.
and also make them more willing to say, yeah, I need this. Definitely.
Yeah. They get really excited. I gotta say, that's the fun part for me, is they get so excited, then they want multiple books, and you have to kind of take them back. Let me just get the one done,
Yeah,
and
let's
let's,
start with this one.
just get
Yeah.
one. Because once they get the concept in their mind, and they start seeing the potential out there,
Yeah.
because
Then
they
they
can
come
have
up
the
with all these other ideas. Okay,
hmm
hold
So
on.
you may have just one client that could really generate, multiple books for you. So it's not like it starts out pretty good, where you can just generate these books for them, and or they
Yeah.
know other people in the gym business, or the realtors,
Yeah.
or the,
I know
it's
definitely, because I know my gym owner's like, I'm in this mastermind group with other fitness instructors. I'm going to tell them all about this. And it starts
exactly,
snowballing,
yeah.
and then before you know it, you're like, okay, I don't have more than I can do. I'm going to have to bring somebody on board to help with all this.
And that's the beauty of this. There's so much opportunity that I just don't think, Cindy and I, we get excited and we talk about, there's just so much out there that people ask me. I try to pick, when I first started, I was kind of all over the map with it. I was like, oh, going to a therapist, I'm going to a realtor, I'm going to this person. But then I started honing in. I really like the real estate market, and I really like the gym owners and the online businesses. I started picking the lane. I had to pick a lane because it was
Yeah.
getting way overload for you. So in the
Yeah,
beginning, maybe pick
definitely.
things that you're comfortable with. I know a lady that's a student of mine who does scuba diving. She's taken scuba diving lessons, and she realized as soon as she thought about it, it's like, this would be great for, because they have to track all their dives and
Mhm.
everything. And she talked to the business owner, and he loved the idea. So she created a branded booklet for them. And so she was into scuba diving. So she knew the language, she knew all the things, but it's not that you have to, but that's an easier step into it.
Yeah, I definitely, that's the same thing I always tell people, is start with what you know. And
Hmm.
the niches that you're a part of are always going to be the ones that are easier for you to create for. So
Hmm.
start with that.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
because if you start thinking about all the different businesses and all the different people that could benefit from this type of a booklet, you're going to get overwhelmed. It truly is endless, the different kinds of things you
Yeah.
can come up with to produce for here. So I like your idea of just pick a lane and run with that one, and then
Kind of
maybe,
maybe dominate that for a while.
yeah, yeah,
It makes it a lot easier too, especially if you can start creating, and like with the Adudu product, like you can book creator, you can start creating these more of a templated style. That really makes a difference too.
yeah. So like if you stick with real estate agents, you get one real estate agent, and then of course they're in an office with a bunch of other real estate agents,
Hmm.
and they've got their gorgeous book. Then the next person's going to want it. And
Yes.
if you already created it, then all you've got to do is change the branding, change the names, change the pictures.
Maybe
So
add one
it's,
or two different pages just to make it
yeah,
more custom, but you don't have to. You can think about it as not being completely customized. You Depends where you want to go with that. It depends where you want to go
right,
with it, but it doesn't have to be to that level. You could have more of a templated style, like a checklist or a journal or a notebook or something. It's the branding that's going to change every time.
right. And that's the one thing I think that the business owners totally love is the branding, getting their logo, getting their picture, and getting that in front of
Yeah.
something that people have and hold and use.
Hmm.
And
And think
that's
about
so
too,
valuable.
with Amazon, you can buy one booklet at a time, and that's unusual in the printing world. When I
Right.
talk to other printers outside of Amazon, they can do it, but it's very expensive, so they charge a lot more. And Amazon, one at a times the most expensive one, but it's really still a really reasonable price compared to most printers. And then if the business owner, say their contact information changes, you can make that update very quickly, because now they don't have a stack of books in their office, because they're only buying them as they use them. And then their contact information change. Maybe the realtor changes office locations. We can just go in and change that for them very quickly. And you can charge for that too, which I highly suggest. If it's a lot more work, time times money. So think of your
Time is
time as
money.
money. Hmm.
Yeah,
So
I think you should figure out how much you think you're worth an hour and charge that,
yeah,
because
absolutely.
your time is certainly valuable. The business owner's time is valuable, and they know and understand and respect that. They,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like, it's going to take me an
absolutely.
hour to make this change. I think, I need you to pay me this much to do it. That kind of
Yeah,
thing.
it's just it's like I said, it's your business model, but you can kind of see where, if you, whatever you charge an hour, but maybe that business you've worked with and you've created a lot of revenue from, you say, okay, I'll give 2 revisions that way with them, or
Mhm.
updates, or whatever you want to do. Like I said, it's your way, but maybe you still charge $50 just because, or $100, whatever your hourly rate is, and go from there. But
Mhm.
yeah,
Now you offer an awesome course that takes
thank
people
you.
step by step by step through this entire process, from starting
Hmm.
your KDP account to contacting businesses to creating agreements to how to create these booklets. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about that course?
Yeah, so like I said earlier, I basically got started in the KDP world, and then I started thinking about it a little differently. And then as I was working myself with the businesses, people were asking me, how am I doing this? Because it really hasn't been done that often with the business branding. And so it was becoming up to a point where they were asking me, there's a lot of moving pieces. It's not hard necessarily, it's just moving pieces and how to get all those pieces in line, which I've already done. So I created a KDP for B2B course. So like Cindy said, we even started with getting your KDP account. Sometimes I run into people who have never even don't even know about KDP. So we started right from the very beginning. But then we kept walking everybody through how to create the booklets, how to put, the branding on, what that kind of looks like there, and then how to price your booklet, how to also how to reach out to the businesses. I just step backwards. Anyway, reaching out to the businesses, creating what the meeting looks like, how you should be prepared for the meeting with the business owner, and being prepared for that, then pricing the book, and then getting referrals. And also I go into a little bit of merch as well. So because what seems to happen is, as soon as you build that relationship up, they want to know if they can get any other branded products from you.
Mhm.
So I have resources for that too. And that's a lot in my KDP for B2B Facebook group. We talk a lot about resources, because that, and then we have a calculator that my husband actually created, which is a way of, because sometimes the business owner will ask you, well, how much if I buy 50 books, and how much will the color cost versus the black ink, and like they start asking. So we created a calculator, and that is separate, but that is a piece that comes up a lot about pricing, and they want to know all the different prices. So we created a way to make that easy for you, and that's available. And then we have an agreement, like Cindy mentioned. I highly suggest just an agreement. It depends what you want to do with your business. Contracts are fine too, but we just did more of an agreement between the businesses, because just to make sure the dates are set, like when do they need the book, how do they, like you're on the same page, literally
Exactly.
and figuratively, um, because they want to know, like, okay, when will it be done? Because sometimes they're so excited, then they have an event and they're like, well, could it be done in 2 days? It's like, no,
You're like,
it can't. It's just so
no,
everybody's, no, it cannot be.
I don't have a time machine.
Yeah,
Can't
yeah.
do
So
that.
they just don't know how the process works. So it's just being
Mhm.
on the same page. Do they have the rights to the logo? Do they have, all the graphics and everything they're giving you to share? Do they have copyrights to it? So the agreement is just a way of a check off list to make sure everybody's on the same page. How much is the book going to be up on Amazon for? The prices, how much, all that. So
Yeah, I think that's awesome. Yeah, I recently got your agreement because I need to do an agreement with my gym
mhm.
owner, and I didn't want to have to waste my time trying to figure out what needs to go in it. So I'm like, I'll just put
Yeah,
Tammie's
yeah.
agreement, and,
Well,
and
like
go
I
from
said, I
there.
already
You've
created a
already done the
lot of
work.
these things. I've done the
Yeah.
work. That's what I'm trying to share with you guys. It's like, if you want to accelerate, you may know KDP, and that's awesome. But if you want to accelerate the business to business side, then that's where this course will really help you, walk you through those steps. So the meat of it's really on the pricing and how to do the process of it. Because there's a few ways to do it that's a little different than just KDP. You have to, when you're working with another business, there's pieces
Right.
that you need to know. So
Right. And
like
yeah,
the
I think
agreement.
that main point is you get an agreement with the business owner that clearly lays out what you're producing, when you're getting it, and how much money you're charging. I think
Yes,
those are the main
yes.
the main things
Especially
you've
like
got
your
to do.
setup fee, if you're going to charge a setup fee, how much is that? Just and how are you going to get paid? And there's a lot of the business side that you need to do for yourself to sort
Right.
of, and it's for both parties, really. It's for both.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so. That's true. And I got a little bit of surprise for my people that want to take your course. if you sign up for Tammie's course with my link that I'll put down here, you will be able to get free access to my challenge, so my 5 books in 5 days challenge. So I'm excited for you guys to get into this sort of a business model and get Tammie's course. So I wanted to add a little bonus for you.
That's nice.
And I think that this is going to be such a great way for a lot of people who have kind of been floundering in the low contract book business, and, you know, kind of like,
don't feel alone.
yeah, because everyone's been there. Believe me, everyone's been there. You know, and if you're like, oh, let's try this niche, nothing seems to be working for me. Do this, because this will work. Because these business owners need these books, they just don't know it yet. And as soon as you tell them about it, they're going to be so excited, and they're going to want to go with these books, and you're going to have so much business, you're not going to know what to do with it, you know, because you're going to get overrun. I really believe that.
Yeah, it does get it's pretty amazing. And I think with the times that we're in right now, the business owners really need our help to stand out. And when you think of, like, so if people go, oh, well, why would if one realtor has one, why would somebody else, you know, why would they say the other person needs it? It's branded for them, so it is different. It is, you know, even if the interior is a little bit more the same, it still could be different. So yeah.
Right. And you know, I do think that once your fellow realtor has it, you're like, well, I gotta have it too. You know? They're gonna have a leg up on me if they have the book and I don't have it. You know, they're gonna have like the fear of missing out.
Competition is like,
competition, right? Definitely.
Exactly.
So once you get in one office, you're gonna probably be producing books for everyone in that office, and then other people, other realtors, friends are gonna find out about it. And so if that's the lane you want to get in, I think that's a great one. And you can
how many realtors are out there? And they're
so
booming. I mean, how many just know in your little, like, the little sphere? It was like so many.
Yeah, definitely. You know, and you know, coaches, music instructors, art instructors, all of these people need books. So I think you already know, every one of you out there already knows somebody who needs this book, who's a small business owner. Right?
Teachers are
just
great.
Start with this person. Teachers, any teachers, tutors, anyone like that, just totally needs this book. So tell everybody where they can find you. You have a great free group that they can join on Facebook.
I have a Facebook group, and it's KDP4B2B group. So Kindle Direct Publishing for business to business. And when you're looking for us, it's it's Kindle Direct Publishing, and it's so when I do KDP, it's number 4, B2B number 2. So that always gets a little bit confusing. We have our website is KDP4B2B.com.
And I'll post all these links with the videos, everyone.
And our Facebook, we have a great Facebook page, that a group, just to say it's a group, Facebook group that is just, you know, everybody's in there, everybody's doing stuff. We're posting things. Cindy's been in there, and she's got all her, you know, do stuff going on. But then if you do buy the course, like Cindy's giving you that, we do have a private group for you. So that kind of takes you out of all of the big chaos in the group and all the stuff going on, into a smaller group that is just for us who actually are building that business. So you can ask more questions in there and be a little bit more exclusive that way. So we do have that. As soon as you sign up for the KDP4B course, we invite you into that private group, which is a little less chaotic and a little more specific for just that business.
Yeah, that's super helpful, I think, for people to have that sort of access. And one other thing I just want to add about this business model is that so much of the time when you're talking with fellow low content book creators, everybody's like, they got their niches and we don't want to share my niches. I can't tell you about my niche. Stay away from my niches.
Yeah.
But with this one, you can share about, I'm going to this realtor. You can do the same thing. Go to your local realtor. That there's a camaraderie there, and you can help other people come up with ideas about like the ones we had with the walking tour travel guide people. You know, with
like how many travel areas. I mean, you could just, you know, spend time in that, in that area.
You could just, where do you live? Okay, what's the travel spots? Go talk to people because I think you could probably go on Groupon and find local walking tours, or at least you used to be able to. You probably once the pandemic is over, that'll be a thing again. But you can just go find like things like that. And
it really is unlimited. And then I do love the fact that we can share all this with everybody, and your businesses. I mean, if there's just so much, and then we talk about where to go to find these businesses, online, Facebook groups, all of that, social media, any Clubhouse to, Instagram. But then you can go, when we can go out to things, chamber meetings, uh, all the meetings that we can go to and visit. Events are great when events come back, because there's one coming up by me, and I was doing this before the pandemic, is going to like the home not home furnishing, it was like a home event, like all the suppliers for
Oh, uh-huh.
different
Oh, that's an
home
awesome idea.
products and
As you go
windows.
around to each table and
They
here.
want to, yeah, well, the great thing is that they're captive audience. They're so happy you stop by their booth.
Yeah.
And then when I brought my books with me, I'm like, this is what I do. Because they really, it just opened up. So events are a great
Wedding event planner of people just popped into my mind, because they used to have those too. Right?
Well, yeah, I just went to one. My daughter's getting married in October 1st, and I think it was December we went, and it was the same thing. And the vendors were all there, and the cake people, and a photographer was there, and she had a booklet created, but she had it done through Staples, and it cost her a lot of money, and she had to buy, she could buy them. But I have a video in my group too about Staples and Costco, and they are great at what they do too. But it's a different type of model, where they had the business owner had to create it themselves. They can't make that many. They had to make all the changes, but they had to buy more. So there's a lot of advantages to the KDP process. I know this comes up a lot with spiral bound books that KDP doesn't have a spiral bound, but the one thing you want to remember is you can do that outside of KDP, and that, get those books, but also you have the PDF, have it up on Amazon too. So do both. That's a little tip for me. So do both, because I had a client who didn't want to go, just wanted spiral, but we said, let's just take what, we already have the process. Let's just throw it up on KDP. She loves that now because she can send that out.
It's so much easier and so much faster, right?
Yeah. Or gives her clients options, and she orders both. So we have a printer that prints the spiral, we send them to her, but we have to do 100 at a time. So it is what it is, but you can service your clients with all the services. So
right. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, I think that there's like I could talk about this for hours. And I think because it's so much fun to do, and it brings so much joy to the business owners, and it's something you can really do. And like I always tell people, I'm not selling, I'm just serving or helping that business owner. You're solving their problem that they almost didn't even know they had. They didn't know this was available. So it's something that feels really good to do. And it's a business, it's a win-win. And I think that if you're doing the KDP and you want another revenue stream, still do your KDP. It doesn't mean you have to end that, but maybe this adds another piece for you, and it starts creating multiple income streams. So if you have a down week in your niches or whatever, you have this other thing going. So I think it's a great complementary tool, or a great model, I should say, for you is that. So I just want to share it with everybody. I've enjoyed it very much. I'm excited. I love hearing people's stories. Like I love hearing Cindy's stories when she told me about her gym, being excited and how she's using it. And then when we've connected with the Adudu tool, it's such a great blend of businesses. So use that for sure. I'm telling you, makes life way easier.
Yeah, because you can create the one template, and then it makes it easy to just rebrand it.
I'm so grateful for you. You've made my life so much easier.
Oh, thank you, Tammie.
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate it.
And thank you for being here today with us. I am so glad you could join us and share your KDP business to business model with all the people in my group. I encourage every one of you to check out her course. I think it will be super helpful to get you going with this business if you're serious about creating a business, and to check out her group too. And I'll post all those links below. And thank you again for joining us today, Tammie.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you, everybody out there. If you have questions, please feel free to reach out to me, through Facebook Messenger, or you can go to my website and you can always contact us there. Any questions, feel free to ask, and we're more than happy to share.
Yeah, and you can just tag Tammie below, and she'll
Mhm.
see your question, and she'll be more than happy to answer it.
Yes, I will. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you very much for
All
having
right.
me, and we'll have a great day, everybody.
Thank you. See you guys next
Bye.
time.